Hello, welcome to another edition of Pickleball Builders. I'm Miles Reynolds, and I have a special guest today with me, also a friend, and his name is Earl Stitt. And I just want to welcome him to our episode and let him go ahead and kind of introduce himself and tell us a little bit more about his role with Veterans for Pickleball.
Hi, Miles. Earl Stitt is my name, and I'm a retired U.S. Air Force combat veteran. And I worked for the airlines for 33 years. When I was up in Colorado, I started going to the VA hospital in Colorado, like most veterans do, go to the VA hospital. And they had an outdoor recreational therapy program, and I learned the game of pickleball. I did not know what it was. I had played tennis before. I had played table tennis. I had played racquetball. But what is pickleball? And that's where I started to play the game. It was the ability and learning how to play the game came through the VA volunteers that they had, an organization and of locals that went to the VA and taught the veterans how to play. So when I moved back to Vegas in 2015, I thought, boy, that'd be fun to do, is to start a program where I could work with veterans and show them the benefits of the sport. So that's what I'm involved with, is getting veterans and civilians out on a pickleball court together.
Awesome. So I know you're with Southern Nevada Pickleball, and your official title is advocate for veterans. Can you tell me a little bit more about why you feel that's important and why you're passionate about that?
Well, as I said, it all started up in Grand Junction, Colorado at the VA. And I found out the benefits of pickleball are fantastic for everyone, but specifically for veterans. As a combat veteran, I had some issues, some disabilities, and I found that having an outdoor recreational program where I could exercise physically, I could use my mental skills for strategy and trying to keep score with pickleball, and the social side of it, to interact with other veterans and interact with the civilians that were involved with the program too, to teach us the sport and interact with them. So that's where I fell in love with it, and that's what I wanted to bring to Las Vegas when I got here. It was to work with the VA and start a program. And I linked up with Southern Nevada Pickleball Club 3 years ago, and they said, what a fantastic idea. With pickleball in Las Vegas community, we can have the youth, we can have the veterans, we can have the seniors, we can have the adult program, youth program. And so that's what we've done with Southern Nevada Pickleball. So if you go to our website, southernnevadapickleball.org, you can see all the activities that we do. And I'm just one part of it that does the veterans program.
Okay. No, that's awesome. And I know that can you tell me a little bit more about some specifics about how you support the veterans? I know you talked about that you have actually a location where you play. I mean, can you give me a little bit more detail about what specifically you guys do to support the veterans?
Well, the main thing that we have is with the city of Las Vegas. We help sponsor the veterans pickleball program there. So every Tuesday and Thursday, we meet from 8 o'clock in the morning to 11:30, and we provide a clinic and with beginners and with other people that are not beginners but just want to play indoors. We have 4 pickleball courts, ball machine, balls and paddles are furnished for the veterans. And if the veterans will come to our clinic for 12 sessions, then we give them a free paddle. And we're sponsored by the Nevada State Veterans Services. And we're sponsored by the city of Las Vegas and then Southern Nevada Pickleball. The 3 of us make this program work.
Awesome. And I know that, what do you see with veterans? Is there any kind of hesitation when they first show up, or, What have you found as far as, I mean, do they usually embrace it pretty quickly? I mean, for people that are just showing up to play, as a veteran, what is the reception like?
Well, it was kind of interesting. Today, we were very fortunate. The VA brought us 8 brand new veterans, and we had 8 civilians. We had a total of 23 people on 4 courts, which was fantastic today. But what they start out, they're fairly timid, like most everybody is. Maybe I should hit it soft. Maybe I should hit it hard. How do I get it over the net? And that's the same that everybody has as they begin the game. It has a kind of funny name and kind of a funny origination up in the Northwest at Bainbridge Island back in 1965. It was started. I could tell you that story, but more about the veterans. It's really fun to see them develop and to learn the techniques. There's a few basic skills you have to learn to begin with to hit the ball over the net. And but it's just like any other sport. You got to keep practicing. You got to keep hitting the balls. You got to keep your eye on the ball, and you got to move.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
It's a great sport to stay active.
I know, and you also gave me the invitation to come, right? Which I would love the opportunity to
Oh, you're welcome.
and come and play with you guys. So, but yeah, and go ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt you here,
Yeah.
but I just want to say the program has started out as a veterans program, and that's how it's advertised as a veterans program.
Mm-hmm.
But anybody can come down if you like the flag, if you want to salute the flag, or you want to give back and help a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is welcome to come and play with us.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the veterans really enjoy that, to see that support from civilians as well as other veterans. They love that.
That's awesome. And I know we talked a little bit about some of the needs, right? As far as we mentioned about like the need for more courts. That's kind of the biggest challenge. Do you want to kind of talk about that a little bit?
Everybody should know from pickleball programs you see it on TV, the big deal and this and that. You're seeing that pickleball is growing rapidly. 5 years ago, it seems like it's doubling, tripling, and who knows where it is today. But it's growing fast. And here in Las Vegas, we've kind of been stagnated through the COVID situation, and the courts now are at a premium. We don't have enough courts. You see tennis courts sitting around and not being played upon. We need that's how pickleball started. There were racquetball courts that weren't being played upon. So boom, pickleball came on and started using those courts, and now we need more and more courts. For people that may not be aware of it, there's a program for a park off on Craig Road in Northwest Las Vegas. I think there's maybe 20 plus courts in that program, but it's kind of been stagnated. The Wayne Bunker courts up by Lone Mountain, that is still in the mix. We're having a transition with the government now, with the recent elections. So as soon as the Ward 4 electee gets into office, which will be December 7th, then we'll start moving forward with that program. There's another program in Henderson at Black Mountain. They're adding another 18 courts at Black Mountain. So there's things that are in the mix, but by the time we get them built, we're going to need more courts. So we have to keep the movement going. And that's what Southern Nevada Pickleball does. It's kind of like a one-stop shopping website. On that website, you can find out places to play. You can find out coaches that will coach you. You'll find out about the veterans program, the youth program, tournaments that are being held, round robins that are being held down at Sunset Park and throughout the city. What's happening up at Park Plaza with Steve Cole and Darla Christensen. There's an awful lot going on, but you need to get to our website and find out more about it and join our website. I think it's our dues now is $15 for a single and $20 for a couple. And that is 1 year from when you sign up is when you renew for the next year.
Oh, okay.
But we have the Heroes Open tournament that we had for veterans. It was a fundraiser. Heroes Open, we just had it on Veterans Day. We've got the Toys for Tots that's coming up here December, I think it was 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Let's see, I have down here 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Yep.
Yeah. At Sun City Summerlin at Desert Vista Pickleball Courts.
Uh-huh.
right next to security. But that's all I know about the tournaments.
Yeah. How was the, I know we were out there as well for the Heroes tournament. We actually had a court set up out there, which was awesome, to allow like
Oh,
the
yeah.
kids to kind of play.
Sorry
And
about
oh no,
that.
that's fine. That's fine. But we loved being a part of that and supporting, a local cause like that for the Heroes tournament. And it sounds like it was a success. I mean, you guys generated some money, right? And you want to tell a little bit about that?
Sure. I don't know the final results of the
Uh-huh.
fundraising, but I can tell you that we enlarged the registered players. Last year we had about 220, and I think this year we had 260 or 270. So we're getting there. I think the big thing is marketing and publicity, getting it out there so people are aware of it. It is a fundraiser.
Mm-hmm.
But this year, I think the policemen enjoyed it, the firemen, and SNP enjoyed the veterans program having that contribution from everybody. And I think it's going to get bigger and bigger as we go.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know we talked a little bit about too. I know the registration's already closed for like Toys for Tots. However, the
Correct.
community can still get behind the cause of that. Do you want to tell a little bit more about that as far as how other, people can still support the cause for Toys for
Well,
Tots?
sure, sure. Toys for Tots is throughout the valley at Christmas time, getting presents for the kids, for the young children that have been deprived or have not have that benefit from their family or whatever the situation is.
Mm-hmm.
But Toys for Tots always does this toy drive. And if you have a toy, you can buy a toy, but don't wrap it. Bring it. There's different locations throughout the valley where you can bring that toy and put it in their Toys for Tot box.
Mm-hmm.
At Desert Vista at this tournament this weekend, or this after Thanksgiving
Yeah,
weekend,
yeah,
at the tournament, Toys for Tots tournament, you can bring your present, and we have boxes that you can put it in, or you can give a donation straight to Toys for Tots. They would appreciate that for sure.
awesome.
And SNP is supporting that tournament
Okay,
with
perfect.
volunteers and helping out. There'll be raffle baskets, etc.
Yeah. As far as we talked a little bit about Southern Nevada Pickleball and different, the website and all the different things you can find on there with coaches and places to play. Is there anything as far as like you talked about maybe how to navigate it or some different things if you're just getting on there for the first time? Can you kind of dig into that a little bit more with Southern Nevada Pickleball?
Once you get onto the website, as on most websites, up in the right-hand corner, or there's a kind of like they call it the hamburger or a couple of layers. You can go on that, and that'll show you how you can you click on it for homepage, click on it for players, click on it for coaches, click it on venues, where to play. So you can navigate through that. If you go to players, I'll put in a little gig here for myself here. You can go to players and scroll down and come to veterans. When you hit veterans, click on that, and that'll take you to a video that will explain to you what we do down at Dula Gym. So it's just like that for the youth program. There's a calendar that's on the website. Is that what you mean by how to navigate?
Yeah, just kind of navigating it and knowing what's
Right.
digging into it a little bit more, like kind of what's there for people that are either in the sport already or wanting to learn more about where to play and things like that too.
Right. So there's the pictures. There's a QR code for donations. There's a QR code to take you to the website. So there's just a lot of different stuff on it that is benefit to a person that is interested in pickleball and wants to have more information.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and as far as I know the big emphasis with kind of getting together for this, for this call has been about veterans, right? I mean, you touched on a few different things that it can help them with as far as like exercise or kind of the mental side of things. But what have you seen firsthand? I mean, is there some firsthand experiences that you've had with some of the veterans or just the impact that pickleball has?
Well, I don't know if anybody likes fishing or hiking, or whenever you get introduced to something that's new and they get you with a hook, it's kind of like what happens when you have a pickleball and a paddle and you get on a court and you have fun with people across the other side.
Yeah.
It's not like you're trying to beat anybody down, but you are there for the enjoyment, and it is unbelievable to see how people will progress. And like anything, the more times you do it, the better you get, the better you feel, the better you enjoy. And
Yeah.
that's what's happening. Why pickleball has taken off and is growing so rapidly. It's just an enjoyable sport, and it's very social in that you don't beat up the other player. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. This is just real
That's what
life.
happens when you have kids up in Yellowstone National Park.
Yeah.
Uh, anyway, where was I? Did I finish that
Yeah.
that area?
Just talking about why it's so, so popular with veterans, right? I mean, just as far as like getting hooked on it, really.
Well, I think in the veteran side of it, a lot of people think that veterans hospital is a hospital where you go into it and everything is done inside with a doctor or the nurse or the therapist or whatever. But when you can get outside and be with other veterans, you're not just you and the doctor, you're with another veteran.
Yeah.
So you can tell your stories, you can tell your background, you
Yeah.
can share your experiences,
Hmm.
and it's how do I say it? It's not you're trying to beat up on the other person, you're just trying to have fun with the other person
Yeah.
and socialize. And I don't know that my brother has an issue with dementia, and
Hmm.
one of the basic things in dementia and senior citizens um, is that they're maybe battle damaged in some way. Thus, a veteran has been battle damaged in some way.
Hmm.
And you need to have that social skill and that togetherness with other like-minded people. And I think that's one of the things that the veterans enjoy so much is that, boy, it's a safe place to go.
Hmm.
I know I'm not going to get beat up or shammed because I'm a veteran.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I ask the civilians when they come on board. I said, we'd love to have you be part of our program. You're going to have to pay your own way. But as a veteran, they're free. How do you like the American flag? How do you like your soldiers? How
Hmm.
do you like your heroes? What do you think about the country? And everything is positive because almost everyone has a veteran in their family.
Yeah.
You go back in history, it's either World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and we're still on foreign lands
Hmm.
protecting our rights that we have here in the USA.
Yeah.
And anyway, that's where I'm at. That's where I really enjoy giving back and sharing with other veterans and other people. And I can't think of another sport that I could do this with.
Yeah.
It's yeah. So I'm all in.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I know, I think we even talked about this. We went out to lunch and I think we even talked about this, right? The whole thing of like, if you don't use it, you lose it type of thing, right? Like as far as
Yeah,
some of these things that set in, as far as like just being able to socialize and you're focusing on hitting the ball, and I mean it's just there's so many different senses that you're using when you're playing pickleball. But I think even just that mental capacity to just be out with people, right?
right.
Every time I leave, whenever I go and play at Durango, every time I leave, there's a lot of veterans over there that will play, and it's funny because every time I leave, they'll be like, "Hey, Miles, when you're retired, you can play all day," and I'll just say, "Hey, don't rub it in my face, right? I mean, I got to go to work, but at least when I go to work, I get to go and talk about pickleball construction. So
Right.
it's definitely a really fun thing. In fact, me and my little brother played in a tournament in St. George, Utah this last weekend. And
Oh
I
wow.
mean, I'm going to be fully transparent. I have to swallow my pride. However, I think I believe they were veterans, but two older gentlemen. They wiped us right off the court, and I got pretty humbled pretty quick. So even though we talk about how a lot of people show up and it's for fun, and you're just there to kind of play, you definitely don't want to underestimate, as far as like when it comes to age or as far as ability to play. I mean, that's what's really cool about
Well,
pickleball.
that's a good point. It's really funny. You watch somebody come on a court that you haven't seen before,
Yeah,
whether it's they're a little overweight or they look a little funny or they got a funny paddle or they
yeah,
got a funny bag, and you just can't judge the book by its cover, right?
oh yeah,
So, and then they get out there and look out, here it comes. They got some wicked spin they can put on their serve, or they got a little maneuver they can do. It's great. It's great. I enjoy it.
Yeah. How I know you got involved with, in pickleball a while ago, but do you play quite often then too as well, or what is your why do you love it so much?
Why do I love pickleball so much? That's a good one. Um, I thought I covered that here and
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Um, I love playing outside with no wind.
Uh-huh.
I love the sunshine, um, and I just enjoy working together and working against each other and having fun.
Yeah.
You can make comments out on the court with each other and joke with each other, and I think that's just the basic thing.
Yeah.
I played football, I played sports, and I was in combat and did this and did that. Was under a lot of pressure at different times throughout my career, but this is just it's just something that's fun and I love to do.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Not expect any better than that. I'm 79 years old, and I'm just very fortunate that I'm able to do this at this age. That I can give back and share with other people, especially veterans and civilians, and it's just something I enjoy.
Yeah.
You know,
No, that's
I could
great.
spend all day doing it, but I want to have a little free time as well with my wife and my family. But it can be all consuming, and that's what seems to happen when people get hooked. It becomes all consuming.
Yeah, right before I hopped on this call, I was having a conversation and talking about whether or not we're going to stay in town for Thanksgiving or if we're going to go out of town. And I said, no, I'm actually going to stay in town. And already my mind started to go to, man, I actually have a lot of time to play pickleball. My kids are going to be wondering where dad's at because I'm going to be out at the pickleball
Right.
court. So, but I'm sure, I actually have a court at my house now, which I'm sure I'll be playing a lot of
Oh yeah.
pickleball with my kids at our own house too. So yeah, that's like the perfect Thanksgiving for me is just some turkey and pickleball. So
Well, there's nothing like family and enjoying a sport together. I just started. I have a 4-year-old, 4.5-year-old granddaughter, and I put a pickleball paddle in her hand the other day in the garage, and I hung a ball down from the ceiling, like you do to stop your car when you come in the park.
yeah,
But it's set in the middle of the garage, and I've taught her how to swing and hit the ball, and she is a riot, and she loves it.
yeah,
She grabs, hits that ball, and I said, "Now whack it. Just don't touch it. You just don't pedal around with it. Hit
yeah,
it." And boy,
yeah,
she started hitting it. She hit it one way, and then she turned around and hit it the other way. She was just having a ball. So
yeah,
I can't wait to get her out of the court and have some family time with her playing a little pickleball.
yeah. So
So
my
that could be my next quest from
yeah,
going from veterans to seniors to youth. So
yeah. No, and
I love it.
it really is every age. My daughter's Blakely, she's 5, and it's so cute. She'll come up to me and because she knows Dad plays pickleball, and she'll be like, "Dad, let's play
Right,
pickleball." But even me and her, we'll go out and I don't have my surface down yet, but we'll go out there and we'll just hit it over the net, and she'll kind of underhand it, put both hands on the paddle,
right,
and just kind of
right,
underhand it, and she'll hit it over, and but then she'll like kind of. She's a little spitfire, so she'll get when I hit it to her, and if she can't hit it back, she'll be like, "Dad, not like that," But she loves it, and so we get out there and play. We'll even get out there and play quite a bit. But it's kind of a good point what you said, right? As far as like you're part of the veterans community that loves pickleball. I know my dad, same thing for him. I mean, he's in his later 70s, but every time he comes into town, he says, "Miles, let's go play pickleball at Durango," and we'll go play pickleball at Durango. And then my kids that are 5 and my little ones, 5 and 7, "Dad, let's play pickleball." And then, it's in my neighborhood. I'm on a few different group texts where,
yeah,
I just wait for the text to come through at night where it'll be like, "Hey, where are we playing? We're gonna have, we're gonna play pickleball tonight." So it really is such a universal age. I mean, I know you said you never judge a book by its cover, no matter who you're playing with, because it's just
right.
all sizes, shapes. There's just it's just for everyone, right? So it's really fun to see because when I first started getting into pickleball construction, it was really a lot of it was retirement community, and I always said, "Oh, this pickleball is for people that retired from tennis and can't run anymore." Until they started, like I started getting pickled by people, so I'd start getting beat 11-0, and by some of these people that were quite a bit older than me, and then I'm like, wow, this is not to be taken lightly. This is a serious sport. So, yeah, I definitely know what you're talking about as far as being hooked. It's once you kind of get involved, you're kind of all in. What kind of the last thing I wanted to touch on, is there anything as far as for the community of Southern Nevada that we can do to kind of get behind this cause for courts? I mean, I know there was, for example, with Wayne Bunker, I know there was a petition. I don't know if that petition's still out there, or, what are some ways that just people in Vegas that can really say, hey, I want to get behind this cause, and what can they do to help?
That's a good point. And that's why I say Southern Nevada Pickleball is a one-stop shopping. And that's something, as a board member, that I'm encouraging the board to become more involved with the city officials and with the progress and the future of pickleball in Las Vegas. There was a gentleman that started the Southern Nevada Pickleball Club about 3 years ago. He and Patty was a part of it also. And then his name was John Sloan. Mm-hmm. And John Sloan, I call him Mr. Pickleball Man of Las Vegas. He now has retired and enjoying pickleball. In fact, he was down at the gym today helping out with the veterans. But we need to make sure that we're in one group organization, not just a bunch of individuals shooting here, shooting there. And because we know Southern Nevada Pickleball, because we've been working on these issues, we know the people to contact. And so if we can have more members in our organization and keep them informed and aware of what's going on in the government and what they can do to help make sure we get more courts, mm-hmm. It can be done through our organization. And people as a member can get that information and know that they're a part of it, if that makes sense. And yeah. It's a pretty cheap organization, I think, $15 per person or $20 a year. And I encourage people to be a part of it. If you are connected with our local government and you are aware of some of these things, who to contact, then come jump on board with us. Inform us more of your contacts and how you might be able to help. Get involved with our organization. We're not exclusive to anybody. We want to be inclusive, include everybody, mm-hmm. And be a benefit for our community, from all sections of our community, from the youth to the veterans to the, more courts to more tournaments, if that's what we want as a group, or it's more round robins. I know tournaments are getting expensive now. We need to have more involvement, more members to be effective in the community.
No, that's awesome. In fact, when you talk about John Sloan, years ago, I remember he was at Siena, and he was kind of there, he was over the pickleball club over there, and we actually were able to get some courts in over there for them. And in fact, we actually had John come over. We did some courts at I believe it was Black Stallion. It was a community where they had never heard of pickleball. And what was really cool is we went out there and we had, like, when the courts were done, we had a big grand opening party where we invited people in the community to come out, and it was a retired community, to come out, and John actually taught them, the game of pickleball. And actually from there, I don't know if John is even aware of this, but now I think they have 3 different pickleball clubs. And I mean, it's just kind of turned into something really big. So I think it's really awesome, what you're doing, with the veterans. And really, we've talked about it before on this podcast, that everyone either is playing pickleball, or they have a friend or a cousin or a neighbor or a brother that's playing pickleball. And I think it's just them getting exposed to it. And once they're around it, there's just so many benefits, from the physical side, the exercise side, the mental side, the social side. And really, when we have a lot of divisions, especially whether, when sometimes we focus on our, divisions rather than what makes us, I feel like pickleball, just like any sport, it actually just brings people together, the community together, and we're kind of unified in one thing, which is really cool. And I know we've met, and we kind of have some different projects that we've been talking about and kind of working on. we love being a part of what you're doing with, being an advocate for veterans. And anyway, so I'm glad to have you on this episode, and I appreciate your time. And just thank you for jumping on this call with me. So yeah, I appreciate it, Earl.
Well, thanks, Miles. Thanks, Miles. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share my program with the community. And wherever this goes, remember, you can contact me anytime. Our website is the key, and then become a member.
Yeah.
And you can help wherever your skills are. Come join us, and let's make this a success in Las Vegas for everybody.
Well, I'm going to take you up on that offer to come out there and play with you guys at Dula. So, yeah, it'll definitely be a good time. And so if I appreciate the time, and if everyone can remember to, like, share, and comment on the episode, we'd really appreciate it. Until next time.